Hello and welcome back. Today is another day of the training to get you pushing towards that massive goal, to me, of your first $20,000 month. But one's not good, right? We want a bunch in a row. And so in order to do that, we really need to elevate our expert status in the field. Yes, over the past handful of days, we've been setting some of the foundational elements, right? What it takes to be an expert, quote unquote, from a results-based expert to a role model-based expert to a research-based expert, all the way into guru, right? I'm going to assume that last video punched you in the gut just a little bit. It wasn't intended to, but I've been there before. I know what that feels like, but that harsh reality is required to now lift you up and start talking about truly making you that big-time expert. And so these next 10 videos are literally going to walk you right through that, step by step, laying this foundational element that will ensure the fact that you separate yourself from the rest of the competition. Because I want to reiterate some simple things here as it pertains to your business, albeit that this is feeling probably a little slow, and that's okay. It's going to keep building. 3 things you must have as a coach: plan, the tools to execute the plan, and a way to get help. That's why you're here. Congratulations, you already have a plan. We map that out on that call together. You have the tools because you're learning them right now, and a way to get help is in the one-to-one session with me. It's also in the Facebook group. It's on the Friday calls. You already have that. You heard me share in another video that your business is basically broken down into 4 specific elements. I call it the moss effect, right? That a rolling stone gathers no moss. You need marketing, you need operations, you need sales, and you need service. That's all it is. And I can share all those things because I have worked diligently to become a master in my subject, which is where this starts for you today. No matter what anybody has told you, no matter how passionate you may be, no matter how brilliant you might present yourself as, and you, as far as I know, you're the most brilliant person in your field I've ever met before. But it's impossible to dabble in multiple subjects as you launch your coaching business. You can't be the mindset business health specialist. It's not going to work. It's just not going to work. Don't be a generalist. Generalists do not get paid. You want paid, right? You want the dinero. You want the cash money in your pocket. You got to be a specialist. Specialists get paid. Don't believe me? Look at the United States medical system, right? Through rose-colored glasses. If you knew some general practitioners, right, some family doctors, where you come when you have your sniffles and sneezes, when your kid's not feeling so well, maybe when you've got a headache, they probably live a pretty decent life. They probably have a pretty nice house. They probably have a pretty nice vacation schedule. They probably have some pretty nice stuff. And they're very intelligent. But then if you've ever had the opportunity to spend some time with a surgeon is a specialist. A surgeon has the biggest house, the best cars, the most confidence. Why is that? He is a specialist who has mastered his craft. And you, my friend, need to be a specialist to master your craft. So you need to pick one topic, one thing, and truly master it. Master in its entirety. You need to become known for it. And you need to become so known for it, you begin to get paid for your advice on it. And then, only then, should you begin to grow outwardly your area of expertise. As I record this video, I know one day in the future I'll come back and laugh at it. But I've been at this game 3 years. Maybe a little bit more than that. Started on personal development, always had a little business twinge to it. I was a generalist, right, because I couldn't really itemize what it was. I believe in the 4-dimensional reality. Fitness, faith, family, and finance comprise all the pieces and parts of our lives. And I wanted to help people live a better version of their life. Well, how the heck do you market that? You don't really. I just built a lot of a trust and authority from sharing all the ugly truth about my life on my podcast, 15 Minutes to Freedom. And so that propelled me into the limelight where people would start to reach out and ask for help. But business was always the underlying tone to it. I just wasn't ready to share that part. I wasn't ready to own that. Then as the ball bounced down the court, right, I started focusing more and more on business owners because I had been one. Not only because of this, but I've owned a web hosting company, was partners in one, right? 30, 40, $50 million a year business, 200 plus employees on multiple different continents. I've owned custom clothing companies and CBD businesses. I've owned things that generate big revenue with multiple levels of complexity. I've always been fascinated by business. But because I was scattered to start with, I ended up feeling unfulfilled and didn't know where my next clients were coming from. When I got hyper-focused on what it is to help business owners, that side of my business is thriving. So much so that after 3 years, I get paid at least once a month to go speak somewhere on what it is I'm sharing with you. We're going to get into this later because you're ultimately not going to care about it, but hopefully for aspiration, you find this to be intriguing. In order for me to go anywhere and show up on stage for an hour of my time, all my expenses have to be paid for me to travel there. All my expenses have to be paid for me to travel back. My food and my lodging if it's required, and bare minimum, $2,500 for me to show up on stage. Time has value. And because I have perfected or am in the process of perfecting this craft, people will gladly invest that. But there's a reason. It's because I focused. Focus is the key word. And love it or hate it, until you're making real money, like real money, whatever that means to you. For me, the first benchmark to get you to is $20,000 a month in recurring revenue. When I get you there, I'll feel accomplished. When I get you to that level, I know that you have created something that is scalable, that has legs to it, that isn't just time for money, where you're no longer in feast or famine, where you are living a life that's filled with joy and abundance and creation. That's what we're here for. But you have to focus first. You must have real focus. Don't know your topic for some reason or unclear? Post in the Facebook group. I'll get you really clear. We'll go back and forth. You must know your topic. You must know why you're doing it. You must go back and think about those 3 ways to become an expert and then ultimately a guru. You got to own it. But you should always choose that topic that you're truly fascinated about. You should already love to learn about what it is that you're doing. If for some reason you don't love to learn about it, if you're not voraciously hungry for new information in the area of expertise you're offering forward, I got to tell you, you're going to come to a point where you feel stuck. You're going to feel stagnant. If you're in this game just for money, it's going to get dark, because I've been there. It might not sound like it right now, but that day is coming. So we need to take something that you're already fascinated with and that you already love to learn about. I mean, think of all the books that you've read in the past couple months or years. Think of all the articles that you've read. Think of the podcasts you consistently listen to. What are they? Are there some commonalities between them? Are you generally intrigued with a certain area of life? Once we take that, right, and we move that to the side for just a moment, then think and choose a topic that you already love to do. You should love this. I love business. I love systems, scale, and operation. I love sales. I'm an engineer by degree and by mindset. I just happen to be an extrovert as well. So these things are passions of mine. And I get to share my passion with you consistently. So if you look back over the past 3 to 5 years of your life, what has been a consistency for you? A consistent area that you've been excited to research, to live, to listen to podcasts, to go to events with. What is that? What do you love to do? What are you passionate about? Then think about what you've always wanted to learn. Every expert, every guru that I've ever met starts and remains a lifetime student. Yes, if you think it's going to stop one day where you just have all the information, we got to have another conversation, my friend. I don't know what that looks like, but it's not a good long-term look. Now, think about what you've been through in your life as well. What have you overcome? What is your work experience? What is your life experience? What's your unique story or skill set that you love to share? And then here's the kicker. Here's the thing about focus that none of the other people online are actually telling you. Hope you're ready for this one. It's just the truth. You must choose a topic that you're willing to eat, sleep, live, and breathe for the next 5 years consistency. Yes, it's going to take 5 years to push to that pinnacle level in which you were looked at as a true subject matter authority and where you're getting big money for everything you do in your life. Now, from right where you sit right now, 5 years might seem like a daunting task. I hope it does not. If it does, think 5 years back where you were at and how quickly that time passed by. That's why it's so important as we're laying the foundational elements for one another that right now you get crystal clear on what this is, what you're passionate about, what you want to study, what you want to learn. See, none of this is sexy, right? And this is something that eventually gets into your offer creation. I'm sorry, but it works. You got to give people what they want and then sell them what they need. You might as well write that down. Give people what they want, sell them what they need. I have to give you lead generation. I have to give you sales scripts. I have to give you automation. I have to give you all these things. And I'm going to, I promise. But first, I got to give you what you need, which is these foundational elements that will ensure long-term success. So, the questions for you to answer before the next training, the topics you have always been fascinated with are, insert here. The things I love to do are what? The things I've always wanted to learn and experience are, the things I have been through in my life are, what inspires others by what I have been through? I want to gain expertise in what? The topic I want to start and build a real 5-year plan around is what? It's okay if at this point you are questioning where you have started your business at. It's okay. We're here to help you. I hear this at least 20% of the time that someone comes through training with me is they get to this point like I'm probably in the wrong direction. It's all right. Wouldn't you rather know right now than build this foundation upon lies, upon things that aren't scalable? Do yourself a favor and post in the group if that's you. There's no shame in it. The shame comes from the fact of you had an opportunity right now to recalibrate and you didn't take advantage of it. I promise you 3 years in the future, when you're feeling void of energy, when you're feeling doubtful or you're questioning yourself, you're going to think back to this moment and think, man, I should just raise my hand. That's what we're here for. My friend, I honor you for being in this journey with me up until this point. Tomorrow is another day with lots more training. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow.